Welcome to the Vanilla to Vixen podcast. This show contains adult content, so if you are under 18 or easily offended, please switch off now. Mr. and Mrs. N are not qualified relationship counsellors. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Now the disclaimer is out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy our journey from Vanilla to Vixen.
Welcome to episode 98 of Vanilla to Vixen. We are your hosts, Mr. and Mrs. N, and we're sometimes in certain circles known as
the naughty couple.
Good afternoon, morning, night, evening, whenever you're listening to this, Mrs. N.
Hello, Mr. N.
Well, what a week it's been.
Wow.
Last weekend was V2V, Vanilla to Vixen party.
It was.
And I'm still recovering.
You and me both. It was epic.
It was epic. We'll talk about that in a little moment. This episode, 98, we're getting ever closer to the elusive 100.
I know.
And we've got Lord Discord. Play the music.
Lord Discord, Mr. Horny's in the house. Lord Discord, Mr. Horny's in the house.
We've not got Mrs. Discord.
I know we've not got the Stig.
We've not got the Stig.
She's not here.
The silent, we call her the silent swinging Stig. So she can't be here today, apparently. He's bringing along a friend.
Yes.
So we'll find out about that a little bit later on. And I wonder if he's got a Disney story for us.
Oh, I do hope so.
Because Mr. Discord, Lord Discord, always has a Disney story. I've got a little Disney story for you.
Oh, have you?
Yes. What did Disney World and Viagra have in common?
I don't know.
They both make you stand around waiting for nothing for an hour before giving you a 2-minute ride. You like that one?
Very good.
I was going to say what happened when Snow White sat in the bath feeling happy.
What?
Happy got out, so she felt grumpy instead. That's enough of that.
Oh, you see, you got double trouble this week.
I know. Well, you see, you don't know. I'm hoping he'll squeeze a Disney story in there.
Oh, please, Mr. Horny, please.
Lord Discord, Mr. Horny's coming up a bit later on. But first, what happened at V2V?
Oh, my word. Well, put it this way. Everybody got the memo.
I know.
Didn't they?
It was 1960s, the 1967 Summer of Love.
And it was also summer solstice.
Summer solstice, Summer of Love.
I
was singing all over the place. We had NJ, our famous photographer.
Yes.
Who's paparazzied all the famous stars.
He has.
And he was at V2V taking pictures in his little studio. We've got a full photo studio set up now. It's massive, this photography studio. So you can go, if you're a couple or a single lady, you can go and have your photograph taken, all dressed up in your 1960s outfit.
Yeah.
We had a couple of Austin Powers.
We did.
We had a fembot.
We did have a fembot. She was brilliant.
We had this beautiful lady. It was one of the sexy squirrels.
It was.
It was Mrs. Sexy Squirrel.
Yes.
And she came as a fembot. And I was like, go on then, shows your machine guns. Oh my gosh, she looked stunning.
Yes. And the other half of the Sexy Squirrels was Groovy Baby.
Yes, we had Austin Powers number 1.
Yes.
We had a couple of Austin Powers, and I said, can I have a feel? Because he was velvet.
He was all velvet, wasn't he?
And then, just as you know, we were coping with that, Elvis entered the building.
He did enter the building. He kept threatening to whip his trousers off.
I know. And I thought he was going to do like a Bucks Fizz. Anyone of a certain age will remember when Bucks Fizz were in the was it Eurovision?
Yeah,
they did a Eurovision
1981.
Oh, you see, you're older than me.
Oh, you cheeky bugger.
And so, yes, they just whipped their trousers off. You have to look at it on YouTube.
It wasn't the trousers, it was the girl skirts.
Oh, it was something like that. Look at it on YouTube. You'll find it on there. But not before hearing the end of this programme, because this podcast is awesome.
Yes, it is really, really awesome.
And, what
But we also had some, so the Foxes.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Foxy.
Mr. and Mrs. Foxy. Oh, my God, how stunning did they look? Mr.
Foxy was wearing his like black not eyeshadow,
eye
makeup.
No, he got eyeliner, but he'd done it like, I can't really describe it.
It looked a bit like it was kind of like Jedi.
Yeah.
Jedi space. He looked quite scary. especially running in through the darkness at 2:00 in the morning when we were closing the doors of the club.
Yeah, he did. He looked fabulous. He looked absolutely fabulous. And Miss Fox's outfit was, as always, oh my word, she looked stunning.
Oh, Mrs. Foxy pulled it out the bag, didn't she?
She did.
Where does she find these headdresses?
I don't frigging know. She looked awesome.
So she got this like really like deer antler sort of headdress.
Yeah, it was very kind of
new age.
Yes, that's the word.
New age. It was amazing.
Then we had Saucy and Busty. Oh. Saucy's shirt.
I needed my.
I think he could have landed planes with that shirt. It was that bright.
Yeah, it was Volkswagen. I think he got Volkswagen camper vans or something like that. And it was just all in like massive colour, and he got the trademark glasses on the head.
Oh yes,
he was the dude. Busty looked just beautiful.
Oh, she did.
Absolute glam in her gorgeous 60s sunglasses.
Yes, and the boobs were.
They were busty.
They were busty.
They were busting Busty. They were busting out Busty. She looked fabulous.
She did.
Saucy and Busty. We had Naughty Little Secret.
We did.
Oh my goodness.
The male half of Naughty Little Secret.
Yeah.
Came as Goose.
Yeah.
Slightly wrong era.
Yes.
But.
Yeah, he dressed up as Goose. And he was looking around for Maverick. I don't know if he found him. What was her name? Kelly, the actress.
McGuinness.
Kelly McGuinness. That was it. Yeah. And I don't know if he found her.
I don't know if he found her, but he looked brilliant, and he got his legs out,
and he was singing "Great Balls of Fire."
And he bought me cream eggs.
Well, there you go. Won you over straight away.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh, what else did we have?
I'm just trying to think. Oh, we had the Sun.
Gold member. So, Mr. H, as we call him, Mr. H.
Bless him. You know who you are.
He does. He came as the Sun.
He did. He was pure gold.
Gold trilby.
Yeah.
Gold glitter shirts.
Yeah.
But because there was like Austin Powers people running around everywhere, it's like, you're Gold member.
Yes. Bless him.
So he's actually changed his name to Gold member on Discord.
Yeah. We had the lovely Lady La and Sir John.
Lady La and Sir John, they were just awesome. They were on our crew doing tours.
They were.
And Lady La just looked absolutely
She was
stunning.
in this amazing little 60s mini dress ensemble, shall we say.
Beautiful.
And I have to say, Sir John.
He came dressed as an elephant.
Not till later. But I did say to him, his outfit, he just suited his outfit so much. And I said, if I'd have met him back in the 60s wearing that outfit, I'd have been, yeah.
Because then later on he was dressed as an elephant.
Yeah, he was. It wasn't so much a secret, was it? Because you could see through his orange trousers.
He was dressed as Austin Powers when Austin Powers was just in his thong.
Yes.
Leopard skin thong. He looked the business.
It did. So we did our usual match game, didn't we? But we were trying to think of a good theme. So you came up with the idea of doing 60s icons.
So when you come into the party, 1960s icons, you put your hand in the bag and you pull out a 1960s icon. We had Sean Connery, we had Lulu, we had
Jimi Hendrix.
I came dressed as Jimi Hendrix.
You were Jimi Hendrix.
And how big was my afro?
Your afro was huge. I was amazed how many women actually came to feel your afro.
I got several requests from the ladies that they wanted to borrow my afro and stick it down the front of their knickers and say, we want a 60s bush. Yeah, it's true.
The only thing is you did make a slight fatal error, didn't you?
Yes, it was freaking boiling.
It was so hot, wasn't it?
I felt like one of the Queen's guards. And every time I kept walking through the door, it kept getting stuck on the door jamb. It was that big, my afro. I got the inflatable guitar. What's happened to that? I don't know where that's gone, actually.
Oh, I deflated it for you.
Oh, yeah, you deflated me, you see.
I did. I'm so sorry.
And yeah, I had my inflatable guitar and my full Jimmy setup, and I was very happy. And you looked absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
You looked like you were getting married.
I got my little daisy flowers in my hair.
All in pure Virginia white.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could carry that off nowadays, but...
Certainly not by the end of the night, anyway.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, very naughty.
But I had a very, very special moment.
You had several.
It was very, very busy at V2V, and the atmosphere was just buzzing. It was fabulous.
It really was like the Austin Powers films when they're all dancing.
Yeah, because obviously we'd spoken to the DJ and we'd said, look, this is the theme of the night, so we really want to go with the music.
The music was so on point.
Got it spot on, didn't she?
And it was literally like, and you were looking around, and apart from having like girls like in cages hanging from the ceiling, apart from that, it was a proper 1960s Austin Powers party.
It was brilliant. So I decided, obviously after the buffet, because we have to have buffet first,
of course,
that all of the V2V gang were going to get on the dance floor together. It's never been done before.
No, even Saucy was on there.
He was in his pants.
He dressed down at this point.
Yeah.
And he was grooving away.
He was.
It was awesome.
But obviously at this point, Sir John had also dressed down.
Elephant Man. And he was wearing a leopard print thong. With a trunk.
Let's
just say, oh yeah.
Yeah. When they played the Shake It All Over song,
Was it shaking all over?
It may have been jiggling. I may have noticed.
It was when he picked his peanut off the floor.
You were going to say that?
It was when he picked peanut off the floor.
Oh, dear.
Very talented man.
Anyway, we just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that attended. We had the best night.
It really was probably one of the biggest parties we've ever done.
Yeah, I mean, I always love V2V. There's something very... I don't know. I always say I feel like I'm putting on a comfy pair of slippers because we just know that we're going to have an amazing night with everybody that comes along and joins us. We're so lucky with the people that come to our event.
We had a couple that flew over from Ireland.
Yeah, again, bless them. They came before and they'd been dying to come back, and they flew over for V2V.
We had people from southwest down in Cornwall.
Yeah.
We had people from the Isle of Wight.
Yes.
And they just came for one party.
Oh, no.
And it really is humbling.
Incredibly humbling.
And we always say that the party would be nothing without the people.
Yeah.
Our guests make V2V.
They do.
And sort of the newcomers, if you want to go onto Fab, you can read some of the beautiful verifications that people have left, and it is really humbling.
Yeah,
but we always say that the party is made by our guests, by the V2V crowd.
100%.
It's just sensational. Huge thank you to Chardonnay, who just and all the bar staff and all the staff at Liberty Elite who just wow.
Yeah.
It was such a big party, and they coped with the crowd so well.
Yeah, they did.
Getting everyone into the club, getting everyone, through the doors as quickly as possible, because everyone's enjoying this beautiful British weather that we're having.
We were lucky it wasn't raining.
It was dry.
It was dry, but it was a bit nippy.
Not in my wig, it wasn't.
Well, it wasn't in your wig, but you weren't standing outside in a queue, were you? So... But that's why I like to give big hugs, you see, because I can warm you up when you walk through the door.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah, bless her. Mrs. Naughty Squirrel, Fembot, she hadn't got a lot on.
She hadn't, bless her, she hadn't. She got this beautiful baby pink baby
furry.
Doll on with the...
It was furry.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt it. It was furry.
It was... Yes, I know you did.
Let's just leave it at that.
But I have to say, first time ever... We couldn't get in the hot tub.
The hot tub was just rammed.
Literally all night, wasn't it?
It was awesome.
So it was just like, oh, okay. So we had to go and find other ways to entertain ourselves.
It was a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm still recovering.
Yeah, we are. It's taken us a while to get over it. But yeah, so massive, massive thank you guys. Honestly, the parties just wouldn't be what they are without you lot.
No. Absolutely not.
And we're going to do it all again on the 12th of July.
Vegas Vixens, baby.
Vegas Vixens.
The naughtiest casino in the land.
Hey.
Where the only people that lose their shirts are the ones that want to. Yeah, get your name down. So we've opened the guest list for Vegas Vixens on Friday, the 12th of July.
Yes. So a Friday means that it is single ladies, couples and single gentlemen.
A very limited amount of single gentlemen.
Yes.
All very heavily vetted.
Yes.
And we speak to every single gent. So any couples, single ladies, you can be absolutely 100% confident that all the gentlemen in there, they are super, super high etiquette.
Absolutely.
They know exactly what we kind of expect.
Yes.
And it makes for a lovely atmosphere.
It does. It does. They're a good bunch. So, Mr. N, if people want to get on the guest list, how can they do it? If
you want to get on the guest list, you can write to us at naughtycouple@yahoo.com, or you can message us on Fab Swingers. We are Naughty Couple, spelled NAUGHTYCP1.
Cool.
Well, I think in our green room,
yes,
which means the shed, we put our guests in the shed. We're in the green room until we're ready. I think Lord Discord is just sort of, I think he's just tripped over the rake.
Okay.
So I think it's probably time we catch up with him and find out who's this guest he's brought along.
Yes,
his
it's
friend.
Exciting.
And he's got something new for us to meet. So why don't we do it now?
I think we should.
Lord Discord, Mr. Horny's in the house. 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 Lord Discord, Mr. Horny's in the house.
And now joining us in the studio is Lord Discord himself, Mr. Horny.
He's back.
And we've got H from H&N.
Yes. Hello, my lovelies.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
So, Lord Discord messaged me the other day and said, I'm free. Do you want me on the podcast? And we were like, yeah.
Always.
And he says, I'm not going to bring the wife with me. I'm going to bring the girlfriend. So we were like, okay. So tell us more.
Well, I think we all met about 7 months ago at Libertines, and we've just connected and grown into this 4-way relationship.
Okay, so was it like, were you just friends to start off with before you decided to go in, or is it just it's kind of flowed into the four-way friendship?
The first contact we had was Discord.
Yeah, we chatted on Discord.
You were flirting on Discord.
I don't flirt.
You did. So my husband's not on Discord and he's not on Fab, but he's got access to it, so I just relay stuff back to him. And I was saying, this is Mr. Horny on there, and I'm getting a bit worried, just getting a bit too attached. I've not even met him yet. So I think we'd done a few club events where we'd just kind of missed each other, hadn't we? We'd like smile and say hello, but never actually got around to talking. And then there was a Libertine, I think it was September last year, and we finally managed to kind of go, hi, we've been talking, and introduced our other halves, and it just went from there, really.
So was the main connection sort of between yourself and Mr. Horny?
Yeah.
To start off with, and then that kind of like...
So you're both members of, obviously, Mr. Lord Discord. He's part of Liberty Elite. He's like the bricks and mortar itself.
Yeah, we're both part of Libertines.
So Libertines and
DC, we go to them mainly.
Okay.
And then obviously Liberty Elite members.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of socials.
So did you see each other first at the club, or was it a Fab?
Discord, wasn't it?
Yeah, Discord.
And then I think when we've spoken recently, we've kind of both said that neither couple kind of wanted to... It's a bit awkward when you've spoken online for so long and you've spoken about lots of things to then introduce yourself. I suppose it's like when you meet somebody on like a dating app and whatever, it's that, are they going to like me because I've said everything I wanted to say online?
Yeah.
And have I got anything else to talk about? So I think we eventually just kind of introduced as a four, didn't we? Spent a bit of time together in the club, and then I think you said, shall we go upstairs?
Yeah.
Definitely you.
What? The shy Mr. Horny? No, don't believe it.
Yeah. And then I think we said, we'll go and see if there's a room free, and I think he ran up the stairs. I don't think your wife had even got out the hot tub yet, but you'd already made that decision for her.
So, I mean, because that could be quite difficult, can't it? Because if you guys have already been chatting and there's there's obviously a connection there, then for your respective partners who haven't been involved in that and then meet for the first time, it's that whole kind of thing. Well, will they like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the worry, because Mrs. Horny, we all know, is quite silent.
The Stig.
She's the Stig.
The Stig of
the naughty hobby.
Of the naughty hobby.
And she don't really do Discord or Fab or anything, so I do all that. And I communicate with her, and then ends the same, ain't he?
Yeah.
So they're like so alike, and same with us. It's quite scary. But then it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like Stranger Things. Have you seen Stranger Things? Like the Upside Down. It's like this parallel universe. They call it the Upside Down. You found your Upside Down alter egos.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. And
that's cool.
We just get on all really well.
But I think you said, didn't you, that after that first meet, obviously normally you then kind of chat to your partner and what was it like, do you like them, that kind of, do you want to see them again or whatever. And I think we both had that conversation with our partners, and then I asked if you guys wanted to go out for dinner, and you were quite shocked by that because you were a bit like, hang on a minute, you want to go out for a social? What's that all about?
Yeah.
Is that your first social?
No, when we first started we had one social.
Yeah.
And the way we see it is, you've got time off, we want to go to a club rather than go for a meal. But then we connected and was like, do you know what, we'll try this, see where it goes. And then obviously 7 months later we're all a little, what do we call it, a quadruple?
Yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it? You learn about yourself all the time. Like, if you'd have said to yourself probably 6 months prior to that, would you click on a social or anything? I bet you'd have said no to yourself.
Yeah, I'm a messy eater, so...
Let's not talk about eating.
Yeah, I'm the worst eater. I'll beat things off the floor.
You said it.
He went there.
Yeah, Mrs. Horny's like, no, I don't really want to show that off. we're never going to pull.
Brilliant.
So was it like, did you have that whole conversation about we're going to be a quadruple, or was
it just naturally happen?
Yeah.
I think it's been recently, hasn't it? We've kind of done that. Okay, so we speak every day. We see each other, probably once a week, I think it's been recently. We're all really comfortable about, like, I've been over to theirs and I've been out shopping and done things, and there's been no kind of, well, why are you going over there? What you do? It's like that friendship thing. If you take away the naughty side, it is just like two couples that are friends. And we did a couple of club nights. We stayed over. We went to Blackpool.
Yeah.
That was a really good weekend. It was Anne's birthday, so we did 2 nights of it as a surprise for him, just in case he said no. So we thought if we just do it as a surprise, he's going to have to go. And I think Blackpool was a bit of a turning point, I think, wasn't it? Because that's like the longest we'd spent together. Yeah. Like the whole weekend, we were a bit like, actually, we really get on with these two.
Yeah.
And it's just easy. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, couple friends have been like, oh, so you're poly? And we're like, no, we wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
But it's what we call it, a swinging relationship.
Yeah.
You're two couples that really get on and into.
We've had this conversation, haven't we, Mr. Horny, where it's like, why do we have to label everything?
Oh, I hate labels.
You hate labels, yeah.
And rightly so.
Yeah.
Because, I just don't like labels. I'm just me. I enjoy what I do, and if I want to play with a guy or with a female, it shouldn't matter about the label.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
in the moment, but there's probably a label for that somewhere.
And I'm the same with poly. It's like, whatever your relationship works for you, that's it. It doesn't matter how you label it.
We're all adults and we're all enjoying what we're doing. Nobody's getting hurt, and it's just what it is between us four. And I think it puts pressure on it as well when people are going, oh, so you're poly then? Oh, so you're in a relationship.
They have to insist that you fit into this certain category. It's just like, it's almost like they can't seem to cope with it in their brains unless it's been given a label. And it's like, well, what does it matter?
And then I get somebody that came over to me in Libs the other week and just said, whatever it is, you four look really happy and I'm really pleased for you. And I was like, yeah, thank you.
And that's what's important.
Yeah.
It's that bit, not what label you've been given. So as a as a foursome, so to speak, so do you guys still play with other people, or do you just keep it exclusive between the four of you?
Well, that's the plan.
Okay.
But it's not, it has a little bit. It's not, we've not done separate meets, we've not arranged to meet anybody at clubs or anything, but we have said that the circle of friends that we've got, that we've all played with prior and we're all comfortable with and we're all happy with, that if that was to happen in a situation, that we would all be fine, because our priority is making sure that the other people are comfortable.
Yeah.
So we would never invite somebody in while we were playing unless the other 3 people were comfortable with that.
So I suppose it goes back to that whole thing with the communication. So we always say, as a couple, we always communicate. Afterwards, you do your debrief and everything else. So I suppose it's no different for you guys in a 4. It's just that all 4 of you have to communicate with each other, not separately.
Yeah, we've had that before. I think it was last DC, I think it was, wasn't it? And we were on the big bed at Libs, and I think a gentleman asked if he could join in, and N was with Mrs. Horny, and N actually said no, thank you, and then he panicked afterwards because he thought, what if she did want, but he'd taken that decision away.
Yeah.
But she was very much like, no, that was your choice as well as her choice, because if she'd have said yes, he might not have wanted that gentleman to join in.
Yeah.
So, but he did say to me, I felt afterwards, I thought, oh no, I've made that decision for her and she's not my wife. But she was actually fine with it, but then that's why we talk about it.
Exactly. You talk about it, you talk it through, and then you find out how everybody feels about a certain situation, and then you're all on the same page.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's why it works so well.
Yeah,
So,
it's communications, like, even with 2 or more partners, it's what makes it work.
Yeah.
Because if there's no trust and communication, it's just going to break down.
That's very good advice for any relationship, whether there's 2, 4 or...
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if you're adding others, especially, you need to communicate. And it's like, just like us coming here today, no secrets. And that's where it works. Both the other partners were like, yeah, that's fine, we're at work, you just go. Saves them not talking.
I was going to say, Mrs. Horny, she
funnily enough, she was at work today. Yeah, isn't it?
So obviously we have the background to
Lord Discord.
Lord Discord. We know
Discord.
how he got into the naughty hobby and everything else. What about yourself, H?
We get asked this all the time, and there's not really an answer because, well, if you ask N, I dragged him kicking and screaming. He says it all the time, and it's not true. So I've been bisexual forever, as long as I can remember, and N knows that, and it's always been something we've spoken about, and we kind of said, you know, it would be interesting to add somebody else and see what happened. So we had a bit of a research and looked, and we were a bit like, oh, we've seen this swinging malarkey, that's a bit too much. I'm not ready for that, no way. So we actually went to a little club in Leicester when we were on a night out. We had a couple of drinks and we thought, let's just go and have a look, see what it's like. It wasn't the greatest, but, you know, we got naked, we went in the hot tub, and it was kind of a slow, okay, this is what it is. And then when we got home and spoke about it, we didn't play with anybody or anything. We just went to see what the atmosphere was like. We were both really intrigued, and we were very like, actually, that would be quite good to just go and watch and see. And so it was my birthday not long after that time, and he said, what do you want to do for your birthday? Do you want me to take you out? And I was like, yeah, I want to go to Liberty Elite. And he was like, sorry, what? And then I explained about it. He went, oh, I know that club. All the blokes at work talk about that. It's a real sleazy place, apparently. Because, you know, if you don't know what it is, it's just classed as somewhere sleazy.
That's so true.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's that, you know, you don't talk about it. Oh, no, don't go there. That's where all the dirty people go.
Yeah.
And it was, and said that in a way of, actually, I want to go and have a look. If it is day, I want to see what it is. So we went, we watched, we, you know, went in the hot tub, we had a look. And that first walking into that big room and seeing that big bed and everybody playing was a wow. It was frightening because when, you know, you've never seen anything like that before, but it was, we both kind of went, yeah, I think this is something we can try.
I'm not going to obviously ask for the name of the club you first went to, but Liberty Elite's quite different to other clubs, isn't it?
Oh, 100%.
Because it's so open.
Yeah, I think if we'd have gone to that first club and not gone to another one, it would have we wouldn't be here now.
Yeah,
because it would have completely changed the way we think about swinging. And when we first went to Liberty Elite, we were like, yeah, that's really. And I think with there as well, the first few times we went, we didn't play at all. Then we played with each other, and then it was a slow progression, but we really enjoyed being there, and we never felt any pressure. It was a lovely environment. You know, we'd have a few drinks, have a chat with people, go and sit in the hot tub, and that was what we wanted to start off with. We didn't go in thinking, oh my god, we've got to get naked and people don't want to touch us. It's not, and that's why we like it so much, and that's why, well, certainly in my eyes, that we've not found a club better yet.
It's weird. That's so similar to us, because we didn't set out and go, yes, we're going to be swingers.
No, not at all.
It's just like we liked doing this and we followed a path, and then one day you wake up and you think, oh shit, we're pineapple people. When did that happen?
It is really quick. It's 18 months, that's all.
Yeah.
That's all we've been doing, 18 months, and it's great as well, because I always knew that I was bi and knew that at some point I would like to play with a woman again. But N had never mentioned anything at all. We're always, you know, we don't care what sexuality you are or whatever. We've got no issues with that. It's not something we'd ever spoken about. And I think it was after the first Libertine on the drive home, he just said, I need to tell you something. And my mind went to, oh no, he wants to stop having sex with other people. This is going to be awful. And I went, go on then. And he said, how would you feel if I said that I would like to, you know, experiment with my bi side? And I just went, yes. Like, that's the best thing you could have said. And he was like, what do you think? And I was like, no, go for it, 100%, I'm there. I was ready to turn the car back round.
Bang on the doors, let us back in.
But that's because we went to Libertine and we were welcomed there, even though, you know, we weren't full hardcore, you know, bi swingers. And that's developed. And now it's the event that we feel the most comfortable at.
It's amazing.
That is cool. That is cool. I always think it's good as well that you've got a club that can accommodate so many people so comfortably, because I think you've got that. You meet people who tend to just flirt around the fringes of other parties.
Yeah.
So we've met sort of people from the kink side who've just attended swing parties, and I just think it's really interesting to blur the lines a little bit and probably lose some of the stigma of the labels and things that you sometimes get with because I mean when we first went, which was 2000 something,
Yeah.
we were told instantly that the kind of kink and swing didn't mix. But now that's changing, I think. Do you think, Mr. Horny?
Yeah, no one knows what happened hundreds of years ago, and they say it comes back round again. So like flares from clothing to sexual orientation and what we get up to. Like if you look at history in the Romans and that, the sex clubs were a big thing
all over. Yeah,
it was not taboo. It was like, oh, where are you going? I'm going down the orgy house.
Yeah.
And now it's the younger generation are, we don't need to have one partner, we can have 20 and it's okay. So, yeah, I think the lines blur a lot now and it's good.
We actually had this conversation with somebody, I'm not going to mention their name just in case they don't want their opinion, but they said it will either go one way where clubs will either die out because they're simply not needed, or they'll go the other way where there'll be so many more. I personally think there'll be a lot more. I think the scene will burst. The scene seems to be getting bigger and bigger.
I think because people are being more educated, they don't have that automatic, like H said in the beginning, oh, you know, that place is sleazy. And I think because it's becoming a little bit more mainstream, people are understanding it a lot more, and it probably hasn't got the tag that it used to have. But I think you'll find that more and more people will probably want to sort of explore that avenue.
There's been more things on the television, hasn't there, lately, about, I can't remember what it's called, there's a show where it was, they were looking at couples and who wanted to introduce other people into their sort of sex life and seeing the highs and lows of it. And I think that's another way that it will open up to people, because they'll look and go, actually, more people are talking about it and it is normal. And I think we need to normalise sex to begin with, because it's still very taboo, and it's like you don't talk about your sex life, and you don't, you know, you would never discuss that when you're having a coffee with your friend. But actually, why not? Why not talk about it? Because it's a big part of your life.
Yeah. It's the same with sex toys. Sex toys, you know, belonged on sort of top shelves of shops like Ann Summers that originally were just top shelf magazines and videos, and then you got sex toys as almost an afterthought, and then it all changed when a woman took over the chain of shops, and it became a different establishment. And I think it's the same with clubs. I think they're changing and becoming more mainstream, but that's just me.
Yeah, it's the British way though. If you think about it, you look at Europe and America, every town and city's got a sex shop and all that, and it's not, you talk to Europeans and, oh yeah, I did this, I did that, and you're like, oh, you're a bit open. Like, no, you're a bit what's the word?
Prude.
Yeah, prudish.
And yeah, oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the Germans on the continent, they're far more open about it than we ever were. I think we got launched into it in the 80s with satellite television, because we suddenly got German television, and everyone was like, Jesus Christ, what's this? I can still remember the channel. There was 16 channels on Sky in the beginning, Channel 13 was RTL.
Not that you've got that burned on you.
As an early teenager, that's burned into my memory banks.
That's hilarious.
All the unuseful information that I store.
So are you guys quite sort of open with friends, family, or that kind of thing?
I tell everyone.
You don't care.
Yeah, everyone and anyone that will listen.
Yeah, and so like the military knows I have a wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. They go, how does that work? I was like, lots of fun. Yeah, I haven't told like, my parents because they don't want to know. Brother and sister knows. Every friend knows. Gaming people I game with, they all know. They're like, are you online tonight? No, I'm out. Oh, at one of them parties. So,
and was that a decision that you made yourself to tell them, or were you asked?
No, I just don't shut up. Like Mrs. Horny will go, you'll sit on a bus and you would tell everyone on that bus by the end of the journey. Like, yeah, you just like talking. Yeah, that's about it.
You're just a social butterfly.
A shy one.
And what about you, H? What about you and Anne?
We're at the point now where we're just not bothered. So we won't go out of our way to say, but if people ask us, we'll just be honest because we're not ashamed of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think coming from a background where my parents weren't open about sex, sexuality, things like that it would absolutely blow their mind, and I think that they wouldn't speak to me again.
Really?
Because I don't think they could comprehend that. But, you know, our kids know that we've got special friends, and, you know, we socialise with them, with the kids there as well, I suppose, in some aspects. So they know, and we've brought our kids up to be whoever they want to be, and they understand that boys can marry boys and girls, and you know so for them I'm hoping that it will just be our natural progression,
a different generation,
and they'll just kind of get it. I won't have to explain it.
And that the understanding is so much more from a younger generation. Ours is different because our daughter's just like, oh God, shut up about it.
Yeah, so they're not interested really, are they? They're just like, you know, whatever.
Our eldest daughter's more interested, I suppose.
Yeah, but she was kind of like, she was very accepting, and she was just very much like, you know, it's you know 2023 at the time when she found out, and she was, you know, people are a lot more open nowadays about, you know, what they get up to and what they do, and so she was very accepting.
I think the conversation lasted about 20 minutes.
Yeah, and that was it. She said, oh yeah, whatever. The youngest, who's now 17, she's at that point where I don't want to hear it, la 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 la, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so the son in the Navy, he's like that. Our daughter, who's just about to be 16, she's quite... She don't want to know, but she's quite interested in it. She's like, oh, so how does it work? And then the youngest we haven't told. And then my son that lives away, I don't really talk enough with him to be like, oh yeah, by the way,
yeah,
I do this in my spare time because I only speak to him once a month.
I think it makes us better parents because I think it makes us... I think it gives us a different perspective on relationships. It's probably because we speak to so many people.
Yeah.
And I feel more informed about relationships now, being in the naughty hobby, than I ever did before.
Yeah. And I suppose there's that honesty to it as well. If you're sharing something that's very personal with your kids, I think that can only be as a positive in a way, because if they think, well, you know, mum and dad can...
We're not on about sharing all the gory details.
No, not at all. No.
See, I was always brought up with, you only have sex with the people you love.
Yeah.
And that was drilled into me a lot. And I don't want my children to feel that way, because they need to learn about themselves, their sexuality, and they need to have fun, because, you know, wouldn't want them to end up in a relationship that they weren't happy in because they wanted to explore something else.
Exactly.
That's very true.
Yeah, because as we talked about before, there is a big difference between making love with somebody and sex. Big difference. And I think, I do think that the younger generation, they should. Because I was very much the same. Not that it was drilled into me, but I was always brought up with, you know, you only ever slept with somebody that you were in love with, and, you know, and that did happen to me. And it wasn't until, obviously, I met Mr. N, and we got into the naughty hobby, that I actually knew the difference between that and sex. And then it was like, oh, this is quite fun.
Yeah.
And so, I agree with you. I think they shouldn't have that much pressure put on them that's how it's got to be.
Yeah, with our children, we've said about waiting to have sex with somebody, but not wait till you're in love with them, because, you know, as we want them to grow up and think that they can explore their sexuality in a safe way. So we're not saying to them, go out there and see it with everybody that you meet, but bringing them up in a way that they know that actually when they feel ready for that, then they can explore, and sort of let them be who they want to be, really.
Exactly. So, have you got any things on your bucket list that you want to do?
It's all gone very quiet.
There's little nods.
Well, Anne and I said a while ago that when things are going really well, that we would love to maybe go on holiday with our naughty friends. So we have actually booked it.
Oh, awesome.
So we go away as a foursome in October.
Cool.
So a week away, no kids, just us four.
Oh, amazing.
That is so cool. I was expecting you to say it was going to be like Spicy Island or something.
No, not yet. Maybe.
So almost like a bit of a vanilla holiday, but...
Oh, it's an adult-only hotel.
Ah, okay.
So
That's not going to be quite such a vanilla holiday.
That was one of my rules, that when we were looking, I did not want any children anywhere near me.
Yeah.
Because I'm going away for a week. I don't want to see other people's children. Thank you very much. So we've gone for adult only, and we kind of went, maybe there's other people there that are adult only. So we'll wait and see.
Oh, yeah, good.
And we said we're going to see how many times we can swap partners. Just confuse people.
Oh, that's going to be hilarious. Oh, yeah, because you can play great games with things like that.
Mr. Horny's idea that, you know, one day we'll go down and we'll have whatever partner, and then the next day we'll swap, and people will be thinking, what is going on there?
Oh, yeah, you've got to have lots of fun with that, haven't you?
So, how long were you in the naughty hobby before you kind of joined up with Mr. Horny and Mrs. Horny?
Probably about a year.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'd always said from the beginning that it would be nice if we could meet a couple that we could see regularly, and have fun with and have friendship with, but we never actually realised it would happen, because I suppose that's the thing that a lot of people want, but to actually find two other people that you can stand to be with for more than a few hours is quite difficult in life. But yeah, I think we all get on really well, and we're all really similar, and I think even like when we go to clubs, we forget sometimes while we're there, because we're just too busy having loads of fun and laughing at each other, that we forget that we're actually meant to be getting naked.
Yeah, it's nice because you just click and it just flows so well.
Yeah.
The night goes so quick, and then you're like, oh, we came to meet other people as well. And then like, oh well, we still had an amazing night.
Yeah.
And that's like the morning after, we always say it was still a great night, even though we didn't really socialise with other people.
Which is pretty much what you almost can say that as a couple, can't you? Sometimes we've had some of our best nights where it's just been us two, and we've not kind of played with anybody or particularly mixed with other people. Sometimes it's nice to just go and watch. So I suppose even as a foursome.
Yeah, and then the other thing that's really good is N and Mrs. Horny are really not social butterflies like us two.
Yeah.
So they will just go sit in the hot tub, and we can do all the socialising. But then when it comes to verifications, they're like, did we meet them? No, use them. So that's the fun bit.
Yeah, we have to introduce them, and then they have to explain that, yeah, sorry, we know nothing about that. That's the other two.
Yeah, we get that a lot. Like, oh yeah, we spoke on Discord, we spoke on Fab, and then they're like, no, you spoke to them too, not us. We don't speak.
So I know you mentioned in the beginning, H, that you went to an initial club that we won't mention.
Because it wasn't very good.
Yeah, before you came to Liberty Elite. So, but have you been to any other clubs at all? Have you done anything sort of abroad or...?
So last year we went to Florida, and once we got there, obviously being in this naughty lifestyle, we couldn't miss out too much. So we had a little bit of a Google, and we actually found that there was a club 20 minutes away from where we were staying, but it was actually a resort, so that really intrigued us. So we contacted them and asked if we could come along, and they said that it was fine because we were going just for one night, that we didn't have to pay a membership, so it was ideal. So we went, and it was basically a hotel, but they had a kink area, they had big playrooms, but then they had like mini apartments, and all the apartments on the lower floor were themed rooms. Which was really interesting. So they had like one room was really kink, but then they had one room that was like under the sea. Then there was an Egyptian room, and it was like a different world.
An X-rated Disneyland.
It was yeah. Well, it was Florida, so so we got a tour around there and saw all the different rooms and everything. So what it was, there was 2 massive pools, and I will never forget this because we walked in and the host was sort of showing us around, and she said, we've got one pool over here, and there was 4-6 people playing water polo nude.
Okay.
So this is at 8 o'clock at night. And then there's a smaller pool this side, and there was just a big orgy going on.
Oh.
So it was one of the strangest things I've walked into, but I'm not complaining. But no, the rules are pretty similar to what they are in England. We went on a night that it was couples only, so we felt a little bit more comfortable because that's the single guy thing is not something we were looking for, so we sort of relaxed. But so they had a DJ on, and it was just like a massive pool party, and then they had a club, so you went in and it was just like a normal nightclub where the people were socialising. One thing that I found really interesting was that they had wristbands, so when you went in you were offered if you wanted to take a wristband from the tub. So obviously I know a lot of clubs have certain wristbands for what you're looking for, if you don't want single men or you do want single men, whereas this seemed to list every possibility you could think of. So you could wear one if you were bi, you could wear one if you were bi-curious, you could wear one to say that you're new and you're just here to find your feet, you could wear one to say that you don't want to play but you really like watching. There was so many different scenarios of these wristbands that you could have, and it was about sexuality as well, and whether you were interested in like T-girls or whether you were just interested in men or women. And it was a really good thing that I've not seen in England, that I think it's something that we could do here.
Yeah,
because it makes it a lot easier to spot people with a wristband and know that they are not something that you're looking for because of their sexual preference.
I suppose with that, it kind of eliminates that awkward conversation that when you meet people and then all of a sudden you have to get to that stage where it's like, well, what's your dynamic? What are you into? Or do you want to play? And then they say, well, actually, I'm not into that.
We went, Anne and I went to Liberty Elite on an event when we first started, and we got chatting to this couple, had some drinks, went in the hot tub, everything was going great, really good, and we had our little went outside and a little chat, and we were like, do you like them? Yeah, brilliant, great. So then I was chatting to the female, and I just said, quite casually, so you're bi then? And she went, no, I'm not. And part of me went, I've just wasted the whole night. And you're straight, and that's not what I want.
Yeah.
So I think from that point of view, it would have been easier for me to go, okay, so she's straight. Do I still want to carry on, or is it something that I'm not interested in? So I do think that events definitely need to have something that, and it's a bit of an icebreaker as well, I suppose, isn't it? When you can go up to somebody knowing that they have what they're wearing on their wrist shows that they are interested in people like you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I suppose if you're interested in everything, you could have a whole arm full of them, couldn't you?
I'd need a chart, though, to remember, because I forget. My memory's not what it used to be.
Like
just wait a minute. I just need to check if that one's on my list. Hang on.
I also can't believe we've got through another podcast with mentioning Disney with Mr. Lord Discord.
Well, absolutely. It wouldn't be the same, would it, without it?
You got Disney on her part in Florida.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So did you get to chat to many people? How were they sort of socially, or did you just kind of keep yourself to yourself?
Everyone was lovely, and I think we stuck out like a sore thumb because we just were like a rabbit in headlights. But we were in the pool and we got chatting to a couple, and he said, "Oh, this is my partner." She was female, and we were chatting away, yep, no problem. After about 10-15 minutes, another couple walked past the pool, and he says, "Oh, there's my wife." And we were like, sorry, what? Hang on a minute, what? And he said, "Oh, yeah," and then that's her husband, and they've just been off together, and she's got a girlfriend, but she's not here tonight, and it just went on, and I'm thinking,
whoa.
Wow. And I think we might have had the conversation then that would never be something we would want to do.
Yeah.
It's just me and Anne, not inviting anybody else in any form of a relationship. And that obviously turned out really well.
Yeah. How's that going for you?
Great.
But we say all the time that I think personally, like sexuality and everything is not concrete. It's like more like water that you swish it around and it changes, and it I think it just changes all the time.
Yeah. We said recently, didn't we, that when we went away to Blackpool, it was about 3 days later that we suddenly realised that we played straight for a whole weekend. How did we do that?
Yeah,
it's just one of them things, wasn't it?
Yeah, we now and again we'll say like, oh, we played straight again.
Without even thinking about it.
But that's the thing.
Not
we
a
don't
conscious
have to,
decision, is it?
It goes how it goes.
Yeah.
And if the females don't play, the men don't play, well, it doesn't. It's one of them, and you don't come away thinking. There's sometimes we play as a 4, and I don't touch my husband, and I'm like, right, it's great, and it's still a really good experience, and we have a great time. I don't have to feel like I need to play with him because the 4 of us are happy with what we're doing.
Well, that's the key, isn't it?
It is,
relaxed.
and I'm interested, and I don't know why this is probably a really stupid question because it's probably no different anyway, but because you're more in a 4, so on the nights like, so you wouldn't necessarily play with N, do you still have those conversations when you get home and it's still that, oh my God, that was such a sexy experience? And
yeah, definitely. We debrief a lot, and I actually remember coming away once and saying to him, "I don't think you've touched me all night," and he went, "Yeah, it's great." That was his response.
cheers, darling.
So
It's like getting somebody in to mow the lawn.
But there's never a "you didn't touch me all night." It's never like that because it's not something you don't even think about.
It's not taken personally.
No.
And that's the correct way, yeah. That's really good advice. And people should follow that more, not to take things personally.
No.
Yeah. And it means you're enjoying yourself. If you've been swept up in the moment and you're having so much fun, you're not consciously thinking, I've got to go over to my partner and give them a kiss, or I've got to touch them to reassure them that we're both safe. It's not like that now.
Yeah.
It's just we don't check up on each other. We know if there's a problem, one of us will speak up.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's why it works so well, because we can go off with each other.
Yeah.
Like, we don't play separate.
No.
But we can socialise separately, and there's no worry. Like, before, we would freak out if someone, if I went to the loo and someone grabbed me and gave me a kiss.
I feel there's a story here.
So the first day we actually met, H grabbed me and gave me a kiss, and I freaked out because I've never
You were doing a tour, weren't you? So we met them, played, and then the next time we were meeting at DC, and you were given a tour, and we'd gone into the locker room, and we'd kind of gone, "Oh, hi, you're all right," and I pecked on the lips. And then what did you do?
I freaked out. I was like, "This is Horny, someone's just kissed me and you wasn't there, and I'm going to tell you because I feel really bad."
Full meltdown.
She just rolled her eyes.
I can imagine.
Still silent.
Yeah.
Still silent.
But that just goes to show the respect that you have for each other.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
That you would automatically, do that. Well, I'm sure there's probably people out there that probably wouldn't even thought anything of it. So yeah, I mean that's a testament to the relationship that you two have. So I think that's really lovely.
It is.
Yeah.
I always tell Mrs. N now, when I on occasion I get to DJ at Liberty Elite, and I'll always go, I've got 3 fashes of fannies and 2 tits. I was probably bragging.
And then I do the eye-rolling thing.
I was probably bragging. It was probably like 1 fanny and 1 pair of tits.
Was there a gust of wind coming in at some
Probably,
point?
yeah. I'm over-exaggerating again, sadly.
I think basically he was just, dreaming most of it.
There you go.
But do you guys, what I'm really interested in is when, obviously, after you guys have all either played together or played separately but together, if you know what I mean, and you go back to your respective partners back in home and everything, how has it changed your relationships in your own couples?
I don't know. See, the problem I have now is I live in Chester in the week, so if we're going out on Saturday or Friday, we might not actually reconnect until I'm back there. Right, so it'd be more on the phone chatting and that, but then sometimes afterwards we don't go to bed till quite late. Yeah. But then the other month we didn't get back till like 2:00 in the afternoon after a whole night at DC, whole day together, and then I think I had to go back early for something. So then it's like, oh yeah, we didn't even play similar. We didn't reclaim, and then come back but then it's a communication all week. Yes, we talk about them. But that's the difference. Is we talk about H&N quite often, about where it's going, how we feel comfortable, because we never wanted this. We wanted to be bed hoppers. That's all we wanted.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah. So
I remember you saying that
at the beginning. Me and Mrs. Horny was just like, we just no friendships, just fucking go. Yeah. Simple as, keep it easy. It's just using people with sex toys, and now. Yeah, look at this.
You see, if I did research on our own podcast, I'd have remembered that and gone, what went wrong here? You were the Beyonce of the swinging world. I shagged the world.
As Mr. Horny said, he evolved.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It's now, we joke about what's the next 5 years going to be with these two, and like booking holidays, kids meeting each other. It's quite strange.
That's awesome, though.
And I think as well, obviously we know your partners as well. We could say a funny story about Mr. N, couldn't we? Because when he met me, he then met somebody who went, who was that person that looked like Mr. N, meaning me? And it was like, it was me. And he went, no, it would look like Mr. N.
He thought you were an enigma. You say you didn't really exist.
He thought I was my own doppelganger. But we know you all, and you're just all so lovely people, and it's just so nice to see such a relaxed friendship amongst everybody. It's lovely.
I think the thing is as well is that this naughty hobby, trying to explain it to people that aren't necessarily in it or are open to the idea of it, it's been very difficult to explain what a wonderful experience it is that you share, and then to be able to share it with almost like your best friends is just
without judgment. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, we enjoy it, and we just laugh all the time. And I think even if we weren't in this lifestyle and we met these guys, that we would be friends anyway. So that naughty bit is added extra. And I was talking to N the other night, and about, like you said, about the future and what's been going on and stuff, and he was just like, I just feel so comfortable, and so trust you all, and I know that, and he said that's why it works so much, because there's no secrets, there's no sneaky texting, there's no meeting without the others knowing. It's not, we're just all open with it, and that's why it works, because that's how we are.
And you've got that mutual respect for everyone that's involved.
Yeah, because like normally when we used to message people at the beginning, Mrs. Horny would like, oh, so what you said, what's this? And now we chat too much, like me and H forever on the phone, because we both have jobs where we can use our phones, the other two don't. And now she just don't even ask. It's just like, you spoke to H much? Yeah. Oh, good. She okay? Yeah. I texted her a couple of times, but I was busy. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mrs. Horny said to me the other day, "Oh, I'm so thankful he talks to you now, not me."
So obviously, because I work in Chester, I have a 2-hour drive, and normally I'll phone Mrs. Horny, and she was busy one day, and I was like, you'd like, oh, just give me a call, and that was it. Mrs. Horny was like, I've been replaced and it's so great. I don't have to talk to you for 2 hours on the way home. And I was like, oh, thanks.
I don't know how long that will last though, because I might have to pass that job on to somebody else.
That's the thing, you know, you can seesaw it. One could do it one day,
Take
one
it
could
in turns. Yeah.
I think the other thing as well is it obviously all sounds so natural. It's just evolved so naturally.
And I think that's the best thing about it. There's no like, oh, used to will play this time. It's not planned. It's just we go there, and like we said before, it could be by play, it could be straight play. It just whatever happens on the day. It's just not like, oh, you must sleep with Mrs. Horny tonight. You must do this. It's just natural.
Yeah,
and that's why I think it works so well. Is because it's we get on as friends, and then like the benefits are even better.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Thank you so much for coming on today. You've been absolute stars.
You have.
Pair of you.
It's been fascinating hearing about the dynamic and the differences, because obviously we've had Lord Discord on the podcast before, but we've never had H on the podcast, so it's so nice.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
And we shall see you again soon. And obviously, you're welcome to bring.
I was going to say, what are the chances of us getting Mrs. Horny and N on next time?
0.
Yeah.
We just have complete silence for the entire
Even though Mrs. Horny is silent, you know, her roll of the eyes and the glaring at certain intervals, they are legendary. We have missed her
She did
presence.
tell me that was now my job today. I did actually message her and say, is there anything that if he does talk about that you would like me to, you know, give him the stare? But I think he's been all right.
He's not been too bad today, I'd say.
I'm behaved.
He's been a good boy.
You are a legend.
You are. Thanks, guys. It's been brilliant.
Thank you so much. Take care, both. Bye-bye.